In this video, we are going to talk about the transverse section of brain through the ventricular system. So this is the transverse section of brain through the ventricular system. As we know, white matter is usually concentrated towards the inner of the brain, whereas gray matter is usually concentrated towards the outer portion of the brain. So the important gray matter structures in the transverse section of brain are insula. This is insula. Putamen. This is putamen. This is globus pallidus. This is head of caudate nucleus. This is thalamus. Now moving towards important white matter structures in the transverse section of brain are internal capsule. This is the internal capsule. External capsule. The external capsule is situated deep to the claustrum. This is external capsule which is situated deep to claustrum. Claustrum is gray matter structure. Elements of corpus callosum. Genu of corpus callosum. This is white matter structure. Splenium of corpus callosum. This is white matter structure. Other structure which are seen in transverse section are anterior limb of third ventricle, posterior limb of third ventricle. So this is the specimen of transverse section of brain. Superficially, the gray matter is all the way around the brain. So this is the gray matter which surrounds the brain superficially. We can see part of frontal lobe here, part of occipital lobe posteriorly, few portion of temporal lobe. Now moving from lateral to medial, the hidden portion of cortex, which is hidden away from surface of brain. This area of cortex is called insula. Due to this gray matter, that is insula, white matter of cortex is seen, that is called external capsule. This white matter is called external capsule. And the gray matter which are seen lateral to this external capsule is called claustrum. This white matter is external capsule and this gray matter is claustrum. Gray matter is situated deep to the external capsule. This gray matter is called lentiform nucleus, which is composed of globus pallidus and putamen. The globus pallidus and putamen is not differentiable in this specimen. The area of gray matter just lateral to anterior limb of third ventricle is called caudate nucleus. This is caudate nucleus, which is situated just lateral to anterior limb of lateral ventricle. This is anterior limb, and just lateral to anterior limb, caudate nucleus is present. Finally, the last important gray matter structure is thalamus. This is thalamus. Now moving towards white matter structures. White matter structures in this specimen are internal capsule. This is internal capsule which is composed of white matter. The internal capsule is formed of or made up of anterior limb. This is anterior limb which is present between caudate nucleus and lentiform nucleus. The other part is genu. Genu is present between anterior and posterior limb. This is genu. Posterior limb, it is present between thalamus and lentiform nucleus. And the other two parts are sublentiform part and retrolentiform part. The other white matter structures are parts of corpus callosum, that is genu of corpus callosum and splenium of corpus callosum. The other structures which are seen in transverse section of brain are anterior limb of lateral ventricle, posterior limb of lateral ventricle, optic radiation, and the other structures are septum pellucidum. Septum pellucidum separates the anterior limb of lateral ventricle, and this is the cavity of third ventricle. This is the cavity of third ventricle.